Hi guys, today our tip number 3 is going to be a 2-for-1. You get 2 tools instead of 1 when you click. Yesterday I had tool number 3 ready and it was starting to upload. Due to a life-changing event that turned out to be not as serious as we thought, I changed a little bit of the beginning. So here's our tool number 3. Tool number 3 is shoes. It's very important to have the right kind of shoes on a homestead. I learned that the hard way, not last night, but when I first came out here and Danny and I met 3 years ago, he kept telling me because I wore sandals and shorts everywhere, he said, that's not going to get it on a homestead. And I know I still wear shorts and stuff, but when we're doing major projects, I put on long pants, and I bought a pair of boots, and I bought a pair of rubber boots, work boots and rubber boots. The reason behind that was every time we went out to the chicken pen or to the pig pen or whatever in sandals, you don't know what kind of parasites you're getting on your feet. So, and 2, walking in wet grass, walking through mud, sandals don't work. I tried walking through the garden, and if it rained, you were getting to be a mess. So I tried tennis shoes. Tennis shoes just get wet and soppy, your feet stay wet, and you end up with stinky shoes eventually. So I went to work boots, and those worked out really, really well. And I was looking for rubber boots, and I finally found some women's rubber boots. And I'm going to put a link to our website in below on the rubber boots that I bought, because I really love them. They're women's rubber boots, and they work really well. But back to why I changed. You're going to get our regular tip number 3 in a minute. But last night, while I was uploading tip number 3, and I'm pulling it down and redoing, Danny decided we needed to do a little maintenance at the cellar. He slipped and fell due to a pair of shoes that was older that I'd been telling him to get rid of, and the bottoms were really, really slick. Even though they were work boots, they were slick. He slipped and fell, and we spent about 4 hours in the emergency room last night to see, because something popped. We spent 4 hours in the emergency room to see if he had messed up his neck or his back or his shoulder. They said he strained it really, really bad here on his left side, but he didn't break anything. So he's okay, but it could have been worse due to a bad pair of shoes. So my tip number 3, the first one, is shoes. The right shoes for the right job. You don't want to be working in the wrong type shoes and have an accident, or an older pair of shoes. I have a pair of work boots that I bought half price that I have stuck up in case. I have an extra pair of rubber boots that I bought for $3 just in case. It's always a good idea to stock up on shoes. My first one is shoes. Now let's go to the second one that was originally what we planned. Today we're doing our tip number 3, the top 5 tools on the homestead. Danny's done the first 2, so this is going to be my tip. Tip number 3 of the top 5 tools would be cast iron. Okay, we use cast iron every day. This skillet here, Danny cooks breakfast every morning. He does eggs. This skillet is strictly for eggs. I won't cook anything else in it. I save it for eggs because it is seasoned perfectly. I don't have to worry about them sticking or anything else. This one is for making this size cornbread, or just small things when I want to do little things like meat, something like that, for just the 2 of us. This one, I make a small pound of cornbread when it's just the 2 of us, and I want just a little bit of cornbread. Comes in really handy, really nice, and you can heat like butter and stuff like that when you want to use it in a recipe. This size, this has became one of my favorite, I guess, pans we have. I make cornbread in this, and it's 8 servings. That way, once it cools, I put it in a Ziploc bag, and Danny and I can take them out as needed and reheat them. So 8 servings last us several days. So this is the one way I go when I make cornbread now, most of the time. This right here, we use this to fry. Now we don't fry very often, but when I want to fry something, fish, squash, okra, that sort of thing, this is what we use. These can be used on a glass top stove because we use them all the time on a glass top stove. But they can also be used on a rocket stove, over an open fire, like a cowboy grill. They can be used on propane stoves. Just about any way you can think, you can use cast iron. It's not going to hurt it. They can be found years and years later in old home sites. You can take and re-season them, burn them off, re-season them, and they're good to go. So our tip number 3 here at Deep South Homestead is cast iron. Check out all the other channels that are in the collaboration. As Grandpa's Farm started this, and we'll have in the links below, we'll have the descriptions to all the other channels. So check out what they say their top 5 tools on the homestead are. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.